What is up, guys? Welcome back to a PJD fishing video. Guys, I know it's been such a long time since I posted out a video. I decided for 2020 I was going to start uploading new videos. I'm going to be making vlog videos, tournament videos, as well as if you guys have not played Fishing Sim Pro Tour, whether it's on PC, Xbox, or I'm not sure if they make it for PS4, but I'm also going to be making videos and uploading videos on that also. So I would definitely keep a check on my channel. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe down below and give this video a like if you like it, if you want to see more. So today I'm actually going to be showing you guys my rod arsenal and what I personally like to have set up on each one, what line, what reel, what baits I like to throw on each one, and how I'm going to have it set up is I'm actually going down to the College National Championship next month. So I'm kind of going to be showing you guys what I like to throw, what I'm kind of going to be throwing down there. I honestly don't have any baits rigged up right now. I just have every rod spooled up and ready to go, but I'm just going to show you guys the rod, the technique I like to use with it, and then basically the taper or the heaviness of the rod with how the rod bends and how it relates to what you guys would be using on the water. So if you take these tips to key, I would suggest it. I mean, I'm not a pro or anything. I hope to one day, but I'm just going to show you guys what's up. So alright, so the first rod that I'm going to show you guys is a 7.3 medium heavy. This rod right here, I don't know if you guys know, I do have a rod sponsor. They are Fox River Lures and Rods. I don't know if you can see it right there, if it'll focus for you. But these are their brand new rods. They just came out with them. I have used them for the past couple years. I've seen a couple different versions, but this is their 2020 new blank. They're very, very nice rods. As you can see, it's a foam cork finish on the bottom. Not cork, it's just foam now. Used to be cork, sorry. So this rod is very, very, one of my favorite rods. I personally love throwing a chatterbait on this rod, the 7.3 medium heavy. As well as you could throw, depending on what you prefer, you could throw a crankbait, you could throw chatterbaits, you could throw even a smaller or a regular jig. But I'll show you guys how I kind of set it up. So this rod is going to be my chatterbait rod. I have it paired up with a Corrado 70, and on this rod I know it's paired up with 17 to 20 pound fluorocarbon, and on here I have FC Sniper. Typically tend to go with FC Sniper or Seaguar and Vizex. Those are my two brands of fishing line that I tend to stick with. So I would definitely recommend that, but this is my first rod, so I call this my chatterbait rod, 7.3 medium heavy, not too bad. And one more piece to this rod. If you guys do not use rod stocks and you want to take care of your rods, I would suggest it. They always protect the guides that are here and throughout the rod, as well as when you guys are throwing your rods, whether it's a rod locker, on the boat, or just in your car. They're going to be clinging and clawing each other. You kind of want to take care of them. So, I mean, I personally like to take care of my rods. I've never broken a rod in the last, I don't know, couple years. Very first couple rods I ended up breaking. Just tips, but if you guys take care of them and you cover them, whether you have a rod cover, a reel cover, they're going to last 10 times longer. So I would recommend doing that. And yeah, so this is my first rod, chatterbait rod, and now we're going to move on to the next one. Alrighty, so the second rod that I'm going to be showing you guys today is a 7.6 medium heavy. Now this rod is a little bit longer. It obviously has that more of a taper, but that medium heavy action. So it's gonna, the tip's gonna bend, but it's gonna have that more of a backbone when the rod bends over. So I personally like to use this, whether some people could use a deep cranking rod, but I tend to use it as a Texas rig or a medium flipping rod. So as you can see here, I have braid, and I tie that to a fluorocarbon leader. So I normally have 30 to 40 pound braid, suffix, as well as I compare that and pair it up with 20 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, whether that be FC Sniper or Seaguar and Vizex, and I pair that up with a Shimano Casitas right here and a 7-to-1 gear ratio reel. I want to be able to reel up fast if I'm flipping in, or if I feel a bite. I need to pick up that line quicker, pick up that line as fast as possible. And I feel like it's better to flip when you're flipping, or if you're, I don't know, flipping in and out of For this setup, it's more of like flipping in and out of grass. So maybe it's hydrilla, maybe it's eelgrass. While I'm down in Florida, it's gonna be Kissimmee grass, hydrilla, eelgrass, bunch of different grass. But braid cuts through that grass easier, as well as comes in and out of your reel faster. So there's not as much line ties or twists. So I would recommend trying that out if you have never tried that out. Seth Feider does this a lot. He ties 40-pound braid to, or 30-pound braid to a 20-pound leader, and he ties his FG knot, which is his famous knot. So I've learned how to do that, and I would recommend trying it out. It's definitely goes to your guides 10 times better and is a way better setup for me. But as you guys can see, this rod has a jig on it. It's just because I'm practicing outside flipping throughout the winter time. But yeah, I consider this my Texas rigged rod. So maybe throwing lighter Texas rigs like 3/16 ounce or a 1/4 ounce, maybe even up to a half. But that's this rod. So that's the 7.6 medium heavy. Alrighty, we're gonna go on to the next one. K, which are by far my favorite reels that I've used from Shimano. I have that paired up with 65-pound braid suffix. And the reason I have this set up is I use this setup for whether it's heavy flipping, if I'm flipping 1/2 ounce plus and I'm flipping heavy cover, whether it's lay downs, thick grass, pads, you name it, this is the rod I go to. Or if I'm not flipping with this rod, I have a different setup that's the exact same setup, but I'm throwing top water. So that's one of my favorite ways to catch fish, and I typically throw, whether it's a buzz bait, that smacks fish no matter what. Love buzz bait, the reaction bite is insane. If not, I'll throw a frog, and that's probably my second favorite top water. So I stick to that on the 7.3. A lot of guys like maybe a 7.6 medium heavy, I don't know, for frogging, or they like a longer rod for top water. Some people prefer it, but I personally have used in the past, whether it's, I used to use St. Croix before I paired up with Fox River, and when I did that, I had a 7.4 heavy rod, so I've always used a little bit shorter heavy rod. So I preferably love the 7.3, so I would definitely try that out if you guys are looking to throw top water or throw heavy flipping on that. So that is my top water and heavy flipping rod. Alrighty, we're gonna do the next one now. Alright guys, so before when I said the 7.3 medium heavy I used for chatterbait rod, I also used the same exact rod paired up with 20-pound fluorocarbon, whether it's in VizX or FC Sniper, paired up with the Corrado K, once again, my favorite reel. And I use this rod 100% of the time whenever I am throwing a jig. So jig fishing is by far, besides topwater, my favorite way to catch fish. You know why? Because we can catch fish year round on a jig in any type of water. Whether it's clear water, murky water, stained water, as well as, depending on the temperature, you can pretty much catch fish on a jig. It's the most versatile bait out there, and fish just can't do anything but want to eat it. So the 7.3 medium heavy, it's got that tip, but it's also got the backbone. So when you set on them, you slam them. And I'll flip with this rod, whether flip with a jig, bombing a football jig out deep, and I just drag it. But this is one of my favorite setups, and I use this rod more than 75% of the time that I'm fishing. So if you guys love throwing jigs, if you prefer to throw a football jig or flipping jig or whatever it is, I would go with a 7.3 medium heavy, and for Fox River, just like I said. So you should try this rod out. I used to go with, switch between a 7-foot and a 7.3, but this 7.3 has definitely got it down. So check it out, and if you guys are looking for a jig rod, this is the one. A couple more rods. Before, when I stated Fox River has different rods, they have innovated their rods pretty much over the years. This year they have the new rods with the new design, which I love. But right here is their old design. As you can see, it's a cork.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again,
What the heck? Sorry guys, Siri's going off. Super weird. But let me shut that off for you. I don't know what that was about. But as I was saying, Fox River's older rods, their last model, they still are selling them, I believe, had the cork base both on the bottom and for your hand, and the blank's a little bit different just in style. It's all black with a little bit silver on the guides versus the grayish finish with the silver. I still love the rods. The blanks are the same. They still get the job done. They put the fish in the boat, and that's all that matters to me. But as you can see here, this rod, they have not made yet in the new blanks for this year, or new design for this year, sorry. But this is a E-glass cranking rod. As you can see, this rod's a little bit thicker, but it has insane bend to it. It will load up and it deflects. So I use this bait, or use this rod consistently whenever I'm throwing a square bill, a medium diamond crankbait, or even some people prefer to throw a chatterbait on this rod. I don't, just because of how much flex it has, and I like more of a little bit more backbone to it. But this rod, if you're trying to throw a square bill and deflect off cover, whether it's stumps, rock, anything that you're hitting into, it will deflect and it will rebound with the rod. So this is by far my favorite cranking rod, and it gets the job done. Especially when you're loading in those fish, you barely have to set into them. The rod already loads into it before you have to bend the rod. So I would definitely recommend this. They still have them on the website, and if you guys are looking for a good cranking rod, this is the one to get. Like I said, whenever I'm cranking, I pair my reels up to a 6-3 to 1. I just like a little bit slower retrieve. So I'm not cranking super fast, but right here is I'm not 100%, I know it's a Lew's reel. I think it's a Tournament MB. So Lew's Tournament MB, and I like to pair that up with between the 12 to 15 pound range of fluorocarbon. Straight fluorocarbon, whether, again, if it's Invisex, Cigar, or FC Sniper. So definitely check this rod out if you guys are looking to crank. So I know there's a lot of guys that prefer reactive baits versus slow fishing, so check this rod out. Okay, we got a couple more left, and then we're gonna head into my spinning rods. Alright guys, I know that a lot of guys love throwing a jerkbait, especially when it gets cold outside like it is right now here in Iowa. This is a 6'9" medium moderate action rod. This rod has that whip action, so whenever you're jerkbaiting, obviously you're ding, 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 and then you want the rod to come back. So this rod is perfect for that. It's just long enough where it's not too long, but it's not too short. 6'9", and when you're standing on the side of the boat, you don't want the rod tip smacking the water, smacking the side of the boat. 6'9" is perfect in your hands, as well as that reaction when you're snapping it. It's just barely tapping the top of the water and barely hitting the side of the boat. So I think it's perfect, as well as I like to pair that up with 12-pound fluorocarbon, again, Cigar or FC Sniper. And this rod gets the money done when you're throwing a jerkbait this time of the year. And I will throw it on a 7-3 to 1. Obviously this is one of my older reels, Pro Qualifier, Jimmy Moore's Pro Qualifier. It's an older reel that I have. It still gets the job done. It's still good quality. But like I was saying, if you guys are looking for good rods on the market, cheaper rods, they are great blanks. They pair up to some of the best competitors in the rod industry. I would definitely go check out Fox River Lures and Rods. I'll leave the link down below in my bio, or in the comment section, so you guys can go check it out. And go check out the rods, and if you guys have not looked at it, you can guys go check out my Instagram. Look at a couple pictures of the rods, or go over to their Instagram. I run their Instagram account, so you guys go check out their Instagram account also. And yeah, so this is my jerkbait setup. Okay guys, we got one more rod after this one, and they're both spinning. So Fox River has both casting, spinning, as well as trolling, and they make ice rods now. So if you guys are looking to get into a company that produces pretty much all around rods, I would definitely check them out. Regardless if I'm using casting or power fishing, I always have to have a spinning rod. Finesse fishing I've always loved, and I've always finesse fished since I was little. I grew up using spinning rods before I started using casting, just probably more like everybody does. Right here, this is the new design. Like I was saying, they have a little bit different design. It's more of like a grip right here to that foam. It has a bait keeper down here, so if you're throwing like a drop shot or something, I preferably use this rod. This is the 7-foot medium. I don't know if it's medium moderate, medium. I think it's more of like just a medium action rod. It's perfect for wacky rigs, shaky heads, and that's typically what I'll throw for 10 times out of 10. This rod I have used in the past with the old blanks and the older design, and I've always thrown this wacky rig or shaky head, and it has never let me down. I prefer it over any spinning rod that I normally pick up, but by far my favorite way to finesse fish is a drop shot. And a drop shot is smack. If you guys have not thrown a drop shot, you need to, because I can make a video if you guys need to know how to learn how to throw a drop shot also, so drop that down below if you were interested in that. But this, I have a Shimano Sedona spinning reel right here, paired up with 10-pound braid, and I compare that up with a leader, which is a 8-pound fluorocarbon. So I normally have Suffix 10-pound, as well as I pair that up with Invisex 8-pound fluorocarbon. And I prefer the leader because it's more translucent, as well as the braid comes off the reel a lot better. And I feel that it's way easier to cast and you get less knots, as well as it gets the job done. So you just have to learn how to tie a leader. And once you do that, never going back. So we got one more rod, guys. Alright guys, this is the last rod. So right here I have the 7.3 medium light action rod. Now the tip of this rod is insane. It gets so much bend to it, and it bends, but it has a heck of a backbone, which in my eyes is the perfect drop shot rod. This rod was made specifically for drop shotting, as well as I throw a drop shot on it and a Ned rig. Ned rig and a drop shot are my two favorite finesse ways to catch fish, and they never let me down. So I have this 7.3 medium light rod paired up with a Shimano Ultegra in the, I believe it's a 7 something gear ratio, but it is a awesome reel. It is perfect. I do the same setup as the last one. I have 10-pound braid paired up to a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, and it all depends on the leader length, but I normally don't make it too long, but I don't make it too short. So I go in between. I don't really have a specific length, but that is what I stick to when I am throwing a drop shot or Ned rig. So like I was saying, guys, if you have not gone and checked out Fox River Lures and Rods, I suggest you do it. They make great rods on the market for an affordable price. Obviously they're one of my sponsors, so I support them fully. If you're very interested in them, you could drop a comment. I can answer any questions you guys have, or go check out my Instagram or their Instagram like I stated earlier. So I really appreciate you guys watching my video today. I apologize that I have not made videos in such a long time, but I am going to continue to make them. So stay tuned to this year and everything that's going to come out. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys' time, and stay tuned. We'll catch you soon.